So that kind of brings us to near the end, but we're going to do our wonderful reflection on the day. I find it so fascinating to hear from what other people have taken from the experience. Before we dive into our voices from Ngā Hau e I want to just remind you, we've got Kelvin Davis first thing tomorrow morning. We want those questions for Kelvin. This is a great opportunity to ask him anything. So, well, maybe not the circumference of the earth, but maybe that. I don't know. Whatever you want to ask him, send it through to us on Slido so that we are ready with those questions for him first thing in the morning. But I have 4 beautiful people standing by to share their reflections from all around the motu today. I've got Gayleen Daniels, who is a Family Start social worker at Ngāti Hine Health Trust in Whangarei. Amiria Fletcher, who's the manager, Waves Trust Waitakere in Tamaki Makaurau. Henimoa Hall, leader of education and operations, Te Aroha Noa, Palmerston North. And Meg Beamish, Kaitiaki Hapori at Chumley Children's Centre in Ototahi. So, all of those beautiful people. Who should we start with? Should we start with Gayleen? Gayleen, do you want to go first? No, not Gayleen. That was a terrible choice on my part. Let's go with Amiria.
Kia ora, Michelle, and thank you for the opportunity. So for today, I think the recurring thing for me has been around the importance of relationships, and that has come up in every single session that I've attended today. And so I'd like to thank SSPA for putting this on, because we have been disconnected for so long, and even though it is over Zoom, the opportunity to be able to build relationships, to hear about what others are doing across the motu has been really, really valuable. And I also acknowledge SSPA for diving into technology, because I know that that's really scary, and I know you're working out the kinks, but yeah, I just wanted to acknowledge SSPA for that. I attended the session, Iraka Te Maui, Iraka Te Kato, a community can use the skill of its people, that was hosted by Youth Horizon Kia Puawai. They talked about their bicultural approach to service delivery, which I really loved and appreciated, and also talked about the teaching family model, which prioritises the therapeutic relationships with caregivers, and again, relationships being really strong, the importance of having those foundational relationships in particular, which is so important in order to begin that process of healing from trauma and to move forward. And I also liked how they talked about their values of manaakitanga, aroha, wairoatanga, whanaungatanga, and one of the things that I really appreciated is they talked about those values in terms of a practical application, with respect to behaviour escalation and how those values are applied in the different aspects of behaviour escalation. So for someone like me, where I really appreciate being able to see practical application of kind of abstract concepts, I really got a lot out of that. And then I attended the session on the child youth wellbeing strategy, where we looked back on the last couple of years of COVID and talked about what has worked well, what can be built on, and what needs to be done differently. I think we all agree that what has worked well is relationships, having great networks, strong collaborative relationships between agencies to be able to quickly mobilise as a community to respond to the needs of our people. Pay equity was a big issue, and that has come up just with our kōrero with Chappie. And again, I acknowledge SSPA and the other partners who are progressing that pay equity claim, because that is so important for our sector. We also talked about just the need to fund what we already know works and what we're already doing, rather than constantly being asked to reinvent the wheel and come up with something new. Just actually resourcing the mahi that's already happening properly would be excellent. And I liked how Chappie opened by talking about the focus on leadership, partnership, and it's been spoken before, but the clarity of purpose, and with Oranga Tamariki, it really is already there in the name. So yeah, that's what I got out of today.
Fantastic, Maria. Ngami noi. Let's go to Hinemoa Hall. Hinemoa, are you ready to share with us your special moments, the things that you took away from today?
Aroha mai te iwi. My connection isn't that great, hence only using the audio. So I really hope that everybody can hear me and see the picture on the screen that I forgot was there. But yeah, I do just want to acknowledge SSPA as well, like Media has done, with the mahi that they've put into creating such an inspiring and empowering event for the motu, considering the current climate we are in, and just the obviously technological side of the mahi that you guys are doing, and just working through it. Really, like, just big mahi out to you guys. A lot of what I got out of today actually resonates with what a media has already said, which is really quite cool. Yeah, I feel like I don't even need to really explain or talk about it, but I will anyway. Because yeah, just tautoko your whakaaro media and your kōrero, as it was very similar to how I felt attending, because I had attended the exact same workshops as you. I did have a lot of feelings of anxiety coming in today myself, though, as my background is predominantly education based, and so my role in the social services sector, I'm an infant in this world and I'm still learning, but the passion for children, rangatahi and whānau and community has always been there for me. And, it's just given me extra reassurance that I am, and I think my voice is pretty, is expressive of that. Like, I'm just so passionate about the mahi that I'm doing, and the reassurance from the people we have heard speak today that I am in the right field, doing exactly what I suppose, I don't want my purpose, but I'm just so passionate about it. A point of practice and facilitation that has also resonated with me, was the workshop with Louisa Webster and Jane. As a Māori woman and as a Mao, rangatira, I have always believed in the strength and value of adopting a Māori lens to practice, to life, to care. And so, it is just so beautiful to have seen how they could relay their values into practice, and what Amelia had said about the therapeutic approach as well. Like, it was just really, and yeah, it really resonated with me, and I'm just so passionate about being Māori and seeing these lenses be put onto, or these models, I suppose, being utilised within the mahi that we're all doing. Yeah, I don't know if that really, but yeah.
Yeah, it does, Hinemoa. That was gorgeous. Thank you. I love it. I love it that you said that you feel like an infant. I have to tell you, the older I get, I'm very old. And the older I get, the more I realise how much I don't know, and we're all still learning. So that was lovely, and I love the passion for your work. Terrific. And it's also really lovely when we hear how much one person's takeaway reflects and echoes another person's. So that's really nice. Meg Beamish, Meg from Ōtautahi, are you there? Yes, you are.
I am here. Kia ora. I loved today. I think one of my favorite things is not even listening to the speakers, although they were all wonderful, but actually listening to my peers ask such incredible questions that just informs my perspective so much. It was so great to hear all of you. And to be inspired by the unique perspectives that you bring from your social service provider, and from the heart that you bring to this work as unique individuals. But the thread that really ran throughout today for me was the creative power of our words and what we speak, even from our first beautiful grounding session and thank you so much for that, of sort of, I breathe in because I'm created, and I breathe out because I am creative. And then I went straight from there into this session, which was, do our labels create exclusion, which is all about the realities that we construct through our language for those that we work with. And just that really, the challenge to be cautious in the way that I speak and in the way that I relate, because our words hold power, the power to create and construct realities, particularly as leaders in this field, for those that we serve through leadership, and for those that I serve still as a frontline social worker as well, was such a cool challenge. And then, of course, even Chappie's reflection of Dr. Moana Jackson's call not to be the loudest voice, but the strongest. So I just feel like I really come away from today with a renewed passion to explore what I will speak strongly for. So yeah, thank you to all of you who informed that for me today. It was awesome.
Yeah, Meg, thank you. I was in the same session as you were, the language session with Debbie Hager, and I found that really challenging. I always think, you know, when something makes you go, what? How do I do that? That's a really good challenge. And I've been going through the words that I have been saying here at this gathering and taking out any mention of vulnerable, because Debbie explained how that is such a label that takes away people's power. So yeah, thank you for that. And now it's time to hear from Gayleen Daniels, Family Start social worker with Ngāti Hine Health Trust in Whangarei. Welcome, Gayleen.
Kia ora, everybody. I've really enjoyed today, and I'm very similar to Hine Moa in the fact that my background is education as well, and I'm now working in a role that is predominantly social issues for whānau. So first off, to start the day with the chant was really good, because I'm missing having our karakia in the morning. And then I went into the workshop, which was around the zone of fabulousness and what self-care, excuse me, and looking after ourselves is about. And it really flipped it for me, because it talked about how do we make the system supportive for the kaimahi that are working there. And do we have a culture that is critiquing and has accountability? So it made you look more so at the system of where you work, rather than yourself getting self-care because there's something wrong with you and you are burnt out. So that was really useful for me. I went into the other session around, excuse me, the message I got from that, I had a few technical issues, was that children are the heart of everything. And I really truly believe that. And I just wish their voice was heard a little bit more. So I'm on that journey still. Talking about Chappie with, excuse me, with Oranga Tamariki was interesting, because I do work a lot with social workers from Oranga Tamariki, and I do want to keep saying to them that they need to be true to their purpose, because he talked about being true to their purpose. And actually the name that is Oranga for wellbeing and Tamariki, and that all children are born with inherent mana. So it'll be a good tool for me to use in my practice to be able to go, are you being true to your purpose to care and protect Tamariki? So yeah, really valuable, enjoyable day, and thank you to all the participants.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, Gayleen. Also to Amidia, Hinemoa and Meg. It's been really lovely to have your voices from Ngā Hau. It's really, that helps to cement lots of the ideas that we've all been picking up today. So we appreciate you making that contribution to the day as well. Thank you. I'm going to wrap things up. I've just got a few housekeeping things. The first thing I do want to do is apologise. Our technology hasn't been as wonderful today as we were hoping that it would be, and we're really sorry that, and I know that it's affected some of the breakout sessions and your experiences of them. So we're going to work with the presenters of those sessions that were affected and give you another opportunity to engage with them over the next little while. So SSPA will be in touch with you to make sure that you have another opportunity to spend time with those people. Also, I want to mention that we want to resource you with the wellbeing practices from the conference So Carly's grounding practice this morning has been recorded, the beautiful chant that we started the day with, and that's going to be shared with you after the conference as a resource. So that's something, a lovely little gift to take away. Also a gift to take away, we've got a prize pack. Aisha's going to bring it over. This is, I don't know how often I've gone through this, probably not, look, chocolate. I can't quite believe that this is still here. Can you, I mean, why hasn't somebody just picked that up as they walk by? There's coffee, there's a pin from, there's cookie making stuff, there's a Puka Puka Mana Whakatipu, Mark Solomon. Oh, that's a very good book. An amazing sweatshirt. I'm not going to unwrap it because then it'll be used. Chitter Chatter, some korero cards as well. So this is amazing. This is beautiful. What? So come on. There's too much in there. So 10 people are going to get one of those.
Yep.
I know. And Aisha's going to deliver them. Are you? Is that?
Sure.
Well, sure. Yeah, we'll make that happen. So make sure you get your photos and your 80-word description of your photos that represent whakamanawa for you into us, like now, like this afternoon, because we're going to announce the winners tomorrow of the photo challenge. And what else? What else did I want to do? Get your questions in for Kelvin Davis. What are we looking forward to tomorrow? We are looking forward to Kelvin Davis first thing in the morning. We've also got the Honourable Carmel Sepuloni, who is joining us also with a team from MSD, so it would be really great to ask questions of them as well. We're going to have a panel on reimagining our post-COVID world, and our final keynote, kai kōrero from Mahira Maihi of the Te Huruhuru Charitable Trust. So it's going to be a huge day tomorrow. It starts early. It starts early at 8:30, so log on much earlier than that. I don't know, 6 o'clock. I'll be here. No, I won't. But log on early and communicate with each other, do some networking stuff. I feel like I've forgotten something, but I don't know what it is, which is probably why it feels like I've forgotten it. But I think that's probably everything. I hope that we have challenged your thinking today. Thank you so much for your engagement. It's been terrific. Let's do it all again tomorrow. All right, go and have a safe afternoon. Get those photos done. Ka kite.